Hello, hello.
Hello.
Well, today's guest took a one-way ticket from Hong Kong to London to pursue her chocolate dreams. And now she's become a respectable judge, author, and an ambassador in the world of chocolate. So welcome, Cherrie. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling today?
It's really good. It's really good to be back to Hong Kong.
I mean, you've had quite a journey from Hong Kong to London. I mean, we start off in PR and now you're into the world of chocolate, right?
Know.
Oh, it's been an amazing journey. So just to start, what got you into chocolate? Like from a young age, or when is your first encounter with chocolate?
Well, maybe from when I was 3 years old, if not earlier, that my mom gave me chocolate. No, but for the career-wise, my first career job is working at a wedding exhibition, and I get in touch with different chocolate brands as partnership, and then I met this chairman of Vero Chocolates, which was my first chocolate job, and he just wanted to create a position for me to take care of his brand with different perspective and partnership ideas, and that's how I started. And looking back, it's 15 years now.
I remember when I first met you, I was in media sales and you were at Vero Chocolate.
Exactly.
That was our first encounter.
Exactly, yeah.
And then 15 years later, here we are.
Here we are, still eating chocolate.
No. So let's talk about your leap to London. What inspired you to make that move? Is a very bold move. I remember one week we were doing events together and then suddenly you were gone in London. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, that was 2016. So basically back then, roughly around 8 years time, I was always in chocolate industry and I always teach people how to taste chocolate, work with different brands and on media and TV as well. But whatever I was saying is the brand want me to say. And my last job was with Pierre, which is a French brand. But around that time, I feel like I really want to train my own palate. Like we work with all those like whiskey and wine connoisseur, and they have their own palate, right? They have their own judgment on wine and whiskey and everything. And I want to have my own palate. I don't want to just say all the beautiful story the brand wanted me to say, although it's really beautiful. I learned a lot. So I just Google around the world and I find actually London is a hub of a lot of chocolate brands and a big craft chocolate scene. And geographically, because it's in between America and European countries, naturally a lot of like chocolate festivals and activities is happening in UK. And also there's a hub of 3 big chocolate awards as well. One is Academy of Chocolate Awards, International Chocolate Awards, but also Great Taste Awards. They do have like chocolate category. And so back then I just feel like, okay, let me just book a one-way ticket. I remember I had no job lining up. So no job, no home, no family, 2 friends over there. And I bought my 72-kilogram luggage and just bought my one-way ticket and fly over and see how long I can stay. And I stayed since then, 10 years now.
Amazing. So tell me more about the initial shock. Was there like a culture shock when you got to UK? Because I know the culture is quite different.
I think like back in 2016, it's not still like currently we have huge crowd of Hong Kong people move over there, which is amazing. It wasn't like that at that time. Not much of a culture shock because I think it must be meant to be, because since I was graduate, every year I was like accumulate my holidays. I would spend 2 weeks in UK, mainly in Paris. And what I do every day is not really visiting Big Ben or like the Buckingham Palace. Is I would get up at 7 a.m., get to the tube at 8 a.m., just travel with the really city bus and close my eyes and feel the city bus. And then at 8 a.m., I have nothing to do. I went shopping in whatever shop they're opening or sitting in coffee shop. But I always go to UK every day, every year, and absorb the energy. And then when I went back to Hong Kong, and I'll close my eyes, imagine I'm hearing Mind the Gap, like all the tube, the sound and the city buzz. So I feel like it is meant to me for me to move over there. And I think I have been well prepared myself since then, that I will be living there one day in the city. And yeah, I think also London is such a melting pot. There's so many cultures and so many languages and everything. So it's easy.
So once you get there, what was the biggest challenge initially for you?
I think I want to deep dive in chocolate because chocolate was the reason I moved there. Although it sounds silly, like, do you really love chocolate that much to move the whole world, like your own whole world? You have your network, you have your friends and family. I literally have no family and only 2 friends in UK, in London. I think like I would just try to deep dive in chocolate right away as much as I can. So I started as a chocolate sales. Part-time, like I was having a lot of like chocolate job in Hong Kong. So when people look at my CV, she said like, you're overqualified of this job, you know that? I said, yeah, I just want to learn. Even work for free, I just want to learn. So I picked one chocolate brand which won so many awards, and even the Queen was awarding the founder as an OBE title, saying how she changed British people eat chocolate in the British culture. So I just deep dived into that chocolate job and try to talk with people and understand why people love this brand so much and what this brand is offering and what is the British market, what British people like. They actually like a lot of like very old classic British chocolate that I didn't know. So it's just a lot of learning. Yeah.
So tell me, tell me about your credentials in chocolate. I'm sure, like, and how you picked them up, like from Hong Kong to the UK.
So who am I now?
Yeah, tell me a bit more about this.
Sure, of course. So I'm a certified chocolate taster. I am an international chocolate judge, and I am a board member and a grand jury at Academy of Chocolate Awards. I used to judge International Chocolate Awards for 7 years, and I judge in Great Taste Awards for 5 years now.
Okay. What is a certified chocolate taster? Elaborate.
So basically, you can learn to be a chocolate taster. But it is back then it was a 4-day course, like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and 4 days very intensively eating chocolate every minute, basically, and eating the beans, eating the chocolate, the melted chocolate, smell and look and see. And taste. At the end, there was a test with written test, but also a blind test, a blind tasting test. They melted 4 different origins of chocolate: Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Peru, and Ecuador. You need to taste it, and then you need to identify which is from which beans, which is quite hard because. If you're taking 2 wrong and then everything is wrong, right? So it's quite stressful. And then after you graduate and you pass the exam, you become a certified chocolate taster. But I personally feel like this is not enough because you can pass all the exam you can. But it's more how you can continue your journey. I really thank for my past experience of 9 years in Hong Kong, keep eating chocolate, teaching people how to taste chocolate. I'm sure I gave you so many chocolates as well.
Yeah, I know. And also, I do remember the PMA event. We were doing cognac or whiskey with macarons.
Yes.
And so you've taken me to so many events, so many fun times.
Yeah, Sweet World, which is amazing. Really, really miss the time. So I feel like, that's just the you need to have the knowledge and how much you learn every day. And also you need to learn beyond from that as well.
I mean, you mentioned, different chocolate. You can actually get the difference in the sensation in different chocolates. Like, are there main sort of trends, like, from like main trends of chocolate where you can go, okay, this is from Belgium. Like, is there a huge difference in the experience?
Yeah, I believe so. Like in European country, like French chocolate, they're really more classic, very timeless. And from 10 years, I'm there from London to Paris, and since day 1 till now, they're still having the same chocolate with raspberry, Earl Grey tea, fresh mint. It's really classic, but very elegant and timeless. And a British chocolate, we're very like traditional as well. Like people still love Cadbury all the time in London, but this is a lot of craft chocolate movement. And then in Italy, because like naturally they have Piedmont hazelnut, and they're really famous with their nut plantations. So of course, they have the best quality of the nut. So a lot of the nutty chocolate, they come from there and really good. They have Gianduja, they have Caramello. And then Belgium and Switzerland chocolate, even they make dark chocolate, it makes it so smooth. It tastes like milk chocolate, which is they're famous for. And Asia, I love Asian chocolate. This is so mind-blowing. In Taiwan, they have Sakura shrimp Thai curry chocolate. in Japan, they have, of course, wasabi, yuzu, and all the sake, but they have like maybe rice puff with a different green tea, kind of like chocolate. They're just very innovative. And I think they embrace the food culture, the snacking culture, the snacks that we grow up with so much into chocolate making as well.
So if I were a beginner, like a user, or a generic consumer, how do I know if the chocolate, like what is the baseline for good chocolate versus normal? From what I'm gathering now, it's more of the flavor in terms of what you put in with the chocolate, and then some with smoothness. But most, I think, it's more geographically where the culture, you have wasabi because of the Japanese culture, and you've got nuts, and so how do I, as someone buying chocolate from a supermarket or going into a shop, what should I be looking for?
I think the basic one is look at the ingredient, because ingredient label is really clear. The higher percentage of the proportion of the whole thing, they will put it in the first. As a chocolate bar, just make it very simple. Chocolate bar, they should only contain cocoa mass, cocoa butter, and sugar. Maybe sometimes they put vanilla or soy lecithin, but that is for stabilizer or emulsifier. But mainly it's cocoa mass, cocoa butter, and sugar. If anything more than that, you see like palm oil, vegetable fat, they're not good, because palm oil, vegetable fat, they're cheaper version of fat, and they want to use this to replace of cocoa butter, because cocoa butter is naturally quite costly. So they use that, they get that like waxy greasiness, but just get the texture out, which is like low quality of chocolate. And then I think award, it is a really good identification, because nowadays we have AOC, which is Academy of Chocolate Awards, ICA, International Chocolate Awards, and Great Taste Awards is more like mainly in UK, but they have chocolate category. All this, like AOC, as a board member, so I know slightly more. And last year we have more than 1,400 entries from around the world. And very surprisingly, Thailand was one of the huge, the most entries around the world, which is so significantly amazing, and you see the growth. So every chocolate being judged by multiple judges, multiple rounds, and very scientifically and statistically calculate the marks, and with comments as well. And when a chocolate won an award, they pass through so many finest palate in the world from all of the judges. And then if they say this is a gold, silver, or bronze award, they are something. So I think like it would be, if you want to start it, try to look for those like award label sticker on the packaging, then at least you're eating something great.
Speaking of the award, how does the judging process work for chocolate?
It's different. So ICA, they have like different regions. They have one award, and then for who won the award, you can get to the world final. AOC is a slightly more simplified, but it is also a very prestigious and reputable award in the world. It's every sample sent to UK. So it's a bit like London or UK centric. And they sent to UK, and after COVID, we have this like remote judging. So we can send the samples, break the samples, label with just the code. So the judges receive maybe 100 samples. They don't know where is this from. They just know the code, get into the professional system, and then have a really 360 review of like the taste, the look, the sound, the smell, the aroma, the harmony of the flavor, the journey, the depth, the aftertaste, and any technical flaws and everything, and do a 360 review and give the comment and submit. And every individual submission, it is silent judging, because we don't want to discuss it. We don't want anyone to influence anyone. And then we will collect, with this system, we collect all the marks and find out who is the award. And also throughout the time, we have a selection round, main round, rejudging rounds in case this is quite discrepancy, and then grand jury round. So this is quite long process.
Tell me about more details about this, because I understand is a not a tedious process, but long process, like a
Yeah.
360. You mentioned from the aroma to the actual the taste.
Yeah.
Tell me more, like what's more technical? Tell me something more technical about the process.
Absolutely. I would give you a little bit of tips, like what do we do or what we need to be aware of before judging and on the day. So before that, because our palate, it is very sensitive, including our aroma and our taste. So the night before, avoid a strong food, like strong favorite food, like Indian curry, hot pot, and everything like strong durian. Forget about it, please. Just for the one night. Sleep well, because like if you sleep better, have a better sleep, and then your sensation is more sharp. Because at the end of the day, it's what we task our judge is have a clean palate, very sensitive palate, and also not only being able to detect the flaws and the goodness is to detect all the flavor and journey. And you need to be communicate with your brain, and then your brain know what you're tasting, and then you'll be able to verbalize it and or write it down, which is like, I taste something like bright fruit, but what is bright fruit? It's a bit tropical. Okay, what is tropical? It's a bit mango or like pineapple or apricot or banana. So you need to deep dive in, and this is a connection between your brain able to speak your palate. So the night before, sleep well. Long story short, sleep well, have a more like a clear mind. And then on the day, as a lady, or even a guy, like don't put on perfume or cologne because it will affect your sensation with aroma. Open air, and no scented hand cream or scented hand wash or like aftershave, none of those. And what is on our table, the basic one will be sparkling water, which I love because it's easy to get. And also the bubble can kind of like rub away your aftertaste flavor. Professionally in ICA Award, they use polenta paste. It's like the yellow powder you make. It's like a little congee, like a porridge, and you eat it because the flavor is no flavor. It's quite neutral, so you rub away all your leftover, like bitterness or intensity of the flavor, acidity. AOC also use sliced red apple and also baguette slice, because like they have the taste of rub away your flavor. So taste one chocolate, like or do all 360 review of the details, and you need to be having really clean palate before moving on to the next one. We always need to mind ourselves. One sample when people put forward for the judging and the competition, they might work endlessly, like sleepless night to find this perfect recipe they believe in themselves. So everything is such a gold to me, and it's a lot of like effort behind. So we need to be the least we could do is use our professional palate, but respect the entry so much that we need to have a clean palate to judge, and without interfere from leftover flavor from purest chocolate to the next one.
It sounds like you're going to the temple for cleansing.
Yeah, exactly. Clean your body.
You clean your body first. You have to wear white clothes. And
Your body is your temple.
But what about it sounds like a very intense process, and you've got like 100 like submission for an award. How many do you get through a day? Like, or how long does this process take for you for every sort of this sort of competition?
For me, I think like the perfect way for my personal life is roughly 2.5 hours each session, and you would taste like 25 products. But I did crazy time. So I used to fly over to Paris, Belgium, Florence to the local award judging in ICA back in the days. The time is limited there. When I land at 7 a.m., I start judging from 9 p.m., judging until 6 p.m. So full time, like sitting like a student but eating chocolate. So tiring. But I had 3 days, I judged 197 chocolates, which is quite intense. But then again, like my core belief is I need to be fair to each entries, right? So I just need to force myself to eat loads of polentas, rub away my palate, leftover aromas, and then move on to the next one. But I think like ideally, I would believe every day do 2.5 hours, maximum 25 each session. And then you can take a break, maybe 2-3 hours if you need.
My God. But I think the key to judging is the palate. How do you actually train your palate?
You need to be very open-minded. You need to keep trying. Whenever I go to Paris, I'm not going for shopping. I go for my chocolate walk. and I go to the supermarket, I go to the market as well, like spices market, you need to be open-minded and learn as much as each country's what they're famous for. And like in Southeast Asia, they have a lot of chocolate, they use saffron. But what is good saffron? I wouldn't know if I live in London. And like matcha and yuzu, we've been eating this since we're young, like 20 years ago at least. But London, maybe matcha is more famous since 10 years ago. And yuzu, it is maybe 5 years ago. So slightly behind of the Asia world. But at the same time, in Asia world, we might not know what's happening in the EU area as well. So just open mind whenever you travel and try and taste, because that is how you learn and you know about the culture. And next time when you know why Taiwan is putting a seafood like a dry shrimp on the chocolate, to them, a lot of like European people are like, this is unacceptable. Like you cannot put fishy thing on the chocolate. But then if you understand the culture, because we grow up with like the Taiwanese snack, like they're next to the sea coast, they have this sun-dried shrimp and really beautifully done, and a lot of like umami, the flavor and depth and aroma is so nice. And then it works well with that chocolate they create. If we understand, because they want to embrace their own culture, celebrate their own food, local produce, that's why they put the product into chocolate and promote to the world. It's beautiful. So we just need to be very open-minded and also learn as much as when we can, whenever we travel. And we're very lucky living in Hong Kong and London, such an international city. We have all sorts of food just in a nice supermarket. So you can try, just need to be open-minded.
What is the most interesting chocolate that you've ever tried?
Want to know about the scary one?
Yeah.
So that was 2017. I'm talking about little animals now.
Okay.
Animals, little insects. So 2017 in London, there's such a big hit. Can I say the brand of a shopping mall? So in Savages, it's like a luxury shopping mall, a department store. So they are promoting grasshoppers and like all the dry, deep fried insects. They said this superfood, same as goji, but like grasshopper. So 2017, insects is kind of like a big superfood really in London, like luxury retail in Savages. And remember that year, one British chocolate maker incorporate grasshopper in the chocolate. Still okay?
That's very Chinese of us.
It's very Chinese of us. Have you tried grasshoppers?
No, I've seen them around, but I haven't. I remember seeing in China they have like deep fried grasshoppers, ants, and so.
How do they put like
deep fried?
Deep fried, okay.
Deep fried, yeah, like scorpions, but I never get to try it. So,
okay.
But,
do you want one?
No, I'm a bit surprised that like they actually use grasshopper, but tell me more.
So they incorporate grasshopper, they grind grasshopper, but they didn't grind too fine.
Oh, at least they grind it.
At least they grind it, yes. At least not the whole head. And then put it as like a bonbon. We call bonbon like filled chocolate. So like with the filling inside and coated by milk chocolate. And when I taste it, bite on it, let it melt, and I feel a lick on my palate. Literally a lick, because they didn't fine chop. But I need to be open-minded. There might be like some reason. There must be some reason they do it and behind. And luckily I was in London, so I understand it's a superfood at that moment. So I try, I taste, I push my boundary, hold myself. I'm not myself anymore. My palate is a temple. It's like a like professional canvas. So people, whatever you put on my palate, I'll try. And then I tried, 360 review, and then put my grade and move on. So I think that's quite an experience for me.
But in terms of taste, does it taste different, or is it more just a superfood, the ingredients?
Yeah, it works.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like chocolate, because like they use chocolate ganache and then mix with the grasshopper, and it tastes a bit like crepes because it's deep fried. It doesn't taste huge like any fishy or meaty flavor. It doesn't have those, but you do maybe a bit of umami. I guess like it depends how you deep fry the grasshopper, how you marinate it, massage it, and everything. But yeah, it wasn't worth any award. But I didn't put anything.
Oh, on the other end of the spectrum, what is the most unforgettable chocolate you've ever had?
Fresh means it's so classic, so basic, but fresh means, so it is from Alain Ducasse in France. So they make this fresh means as a chocolate bonbon, filled chocolate. Remember I said French chocolatier and chocolate maker, they make it so timelessly and very elegant. Doesn't wow like crazy flavor like Asian world. Fresh means we grew up with this. Remember, fresh means chocolate chips ice cream.
Yep.
It's green color. But fresh mint shouldn't be green color, right? It should be like just no color. But then we grow up with this like essence oil kind of taste of mint, like that we're familiar with that, but we know it's not right. So the fresh mint he made is so elegant. It's nothing tastes like artificial, not like essence oil, but it's so light. You taste like you're drinking a cup of fresh mint tea. And in the chocolate, it's really hard because chocolate is quite overwhelming. The chocolate taste could overwhelm the taste. Fresh mint is such a delicate, it's an aroma. It's like tiny for minty. But I think like he made it so elegantly and beautiful, which is, I still remember that.
All right, I'm going to try it one day.
Can I try one day? Yeah.
So then, tell me about your book.
Oh, my book.
Yes. See, you are multi-talented, my friend. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I can't believe when I met you were at Vero and then you've done so many things during the last 15 years. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So tell me about your book, the cocoa sauce.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So it is not officially my book. I was collaborating with a guy, amazing writer called Alan Duboville. He's based in everywhere, like in US and also in France and Haiti as well. He is mainly his book, but he interviewed so many like cacao farmers and chocolate makers around the world whenever he travels, and he wants to deep dive into each story of like behind the scene of how the bean make into a chocolate, but not only just like the process of bean to bar, but the story of the farmers, the challenges they have, and then the chocolate makers, how they work together with the farmers and from basically farm to table kind of thing. But this is so real life stories focus, and he wants to have some first commercial point of view, and second point of view is like professional point of view as award, because okay, they make all this amazing cacao farm and then to bean and then to chocolate product. So what's next? Like they need to sell it, right? It's not just for, oh, I done like next. So, and how do they sell? They sell to the market, yes, but also they want to get through the award to promote to the world. So that's where my value comes to it. So I'm really lucky and very grateful that he invited me to contribute a certain part of the book. So I talk about the award, how does it affecting the market, how does it help the farmers and to the makers, what is the connection between award to the chocolate and to the commercial world. And also, luckily enough, I am born and raised in Hong Kong, so I kind of, I know I have this Asian background and I get to know about a lot of like food culture here, and then having my 10 years time in UK and also in Paris as well. So I can combine what I see from a perspective of like two different worlds. So I mentioned about what different chocolates in different regions is famous for, like what we talk about just now, the Asian world is really creative with flavor and also embrace with the food culture. And then nutty chocolate, amazing aromatic roasting nutty chocolates from Italy, and then European countries like France with a very elegant timeless taste, and British is very general, like more like sweet tooth as well. So I just like mentioned about this.
What would be some of the interesting stories in the book? You mentioned about difficulties. Like what sort of difficulties does these sort of farmers go through?
It's actually a really interesting story. I keep telling everyone, but I never get tired about this. It's very close to us, Taiwan. Have you had Binang Banlong? I haven't tried actually. Is it good?
No.
Okay. What does it taste like? It's like fruit.
No, it just tastes like. It tastes weird. Don't worry.
Okay. What is weird?
Weird.
Oh, weird. So Taiwan, people like the farmer grow binang all the time, years. It's like history. But when they grow binang, it will make the soil a bit loose, and then Taiwan with like natural like earthquake and everything, the government really worry about, okay, you guys please don't grow peanut anymore because we need the soils not lose, like not having all the risk hazard. But then that makes money, right? So why the farmer will listen to the government? Fu Wan is a chocolate brand. Warren and Audrey, a couple that was also my chocolate class schoolmate next to me in my chocolate tasting course. And they shared this story with me is that they work with local farmer and then ask, because actually the natural soil and humidity and temperature is really good for growing cacao. So they grow small scale cacao in Taiwan, Thailand, in Pingdong, grow the cacao, and then Warren and Audrey make such great chocolate and won so many awards in first few years that since they launched. And then the whole world is, oh my God, Taiwan they have cacao, they have great cacao, they have great chocolate maker as well. And then since then, the cacao growing, the plantation demand is growing bigger and bigger. And then they start exporting to the world as well. And then what makes the farmer change? Like the peanut farmers, oh my God, let me grow cacao because I know there's money now. And then it helps the government, it helps the soil, it helps the whole like ecosystem. And yeah, this is all this like very interesting but meaningful story, purposeful story we wouldn't know by eating the chocolate bar. So that is like Alan is amazing. He just deep dive into all these stories, talking with the farmer, walk on the farm himself, and talking with the chocolate makers as well.
So does it mean now the shift has already been, there's already a shift in Taiwan?
They have more awareness. They have more demand of the cacao. Originally, they only they grow it and only be enough for locally, but then now they grow more and more because more farmers is working together, and then they can export a little bit.
Okay, so now it becomes a export product.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they supply to other people like in Japan as well. But same for Thailand. Like you're going to Thailand soon, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna send you some chocolate brand. They, as I said, like last year, they entry more than 50 entries in the whole award, AOC award, and Thailand is booming. They have a lot of like growing and a fantastic Thai chocolate maker, and also they grow their own beans. Who will have thought? I thought it's only from Ecuador and Venezuela, but now in Asia as well.
But I do see even at the airport, there's a lot more chocolate like in the souvenir shops.
Yeah.
So I actually bought like chili chocolate and milk tea chocolate. They're quite interesting. I always buy it for the team
in Thailand.
In Thailand.
Yeah.
But I don't see them on the street as much. But once you go to at the airport, there's like a lot of chocolate right now.
Do you like the chili chocolate? How do you find it?
I find it okay. I love chili. So anything chili works for me.
Yeah, it actually works. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting. Like, I think our traditional perception of fine chocolate is the cocoa and traditional ingredients like nuts, in like strawberry jam. But in Asia now you have chili chocolate, like you have grasshopper chocolate. I think the trend has changed. Do you see the trend between the young people now and changing from the traditional? Is that why they're being so much more creative in terms of the chocolate industry?
I think thanks to coffee, like everyone loves to have a boutique coffee now, specialty coffee. And I remember in very time, that was 2018, my boss, Roger, really forward-thinking person. I really admire him still now. He was telling me, wine tasting, everyone start wine tasting, and whiskey tasting was just starting, and then coffee tasting as well. And then he said, what's next? Tea, chocolate, and coffee. Tea, chocolate, and water. And chocolate is something you grow up with. So that's why he had this belief to start up Vero Chocolates as a family business to promote fine chocolate. So I think like thanks to all the craftsmanship in the food world, coffee especially, and wine and whiskey, people more concerned of what they eat. And actually, even you drink coffee every day, but then you look for the affordable luxury, you look for the specialty, you have that moment for yourself by having a nice cup of coffee and hand drip, and you make coffee yourself as well. And so naturally the mindset of people, they change. It's not only for munching and satisfy my sweet tooth. It's what am I eating? Like, can I eat better? Like, where is better? What is this from? How is it made? And is it child slavery free? And all the ecosystem, how does it support the environment as well? I think yeah.
But I do believe, I actually love having black coffee with dark chocolate.
Oh, yeah?
I think they're the perfect combination. So
Love
that's in the
it.
afternoon. So speaking of tea, is that why you were inspired to go into the tea industry? I know you're working with tea now. So tell me more about the tea.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so I passed some exams, and so I'm a tea taster as well. But chocolate is still my core thing, and tea is just I think possibly in the future, if I invest more time and more effort in it, I will learn much more. But it's just taking time for me to learn more. But why I start tea is I felt like there's so many tea in the world. When we have chocolate sample from Asia, from Taiwan especially, they have tie guan yin, they have oolong tea, and they have like the Eastern, like how do they call that? Oriental beauty, 东方美人, Oriental beauty tea, and then they have the tea making bubble tea, the red tea, alisan tea, so many different type of tea, and all the European judges like, what is alisan? What is Oriental beauty? Is it tea? What is pu'er? Like pu'er, like they can't even pronounce it, right? But it's just so understandable because we might not even know too much of the Earl Grey tea. They have Victoria Grey, they have Countess Grey, they have Smoky Earl Grey, so different side of the world. But then I feel like, okay, I want to learn more about this like tea culture because I see this is heavily involved in chocolate, especially in the Asia world. In Japan with a lot of hojicha, green tea and matcha, but in Taiwan, a lot of the tea I just mentioned. I want to learn about the tea base. And when I judge it, I can judge better because with this knowledge, pu'er tea, yes, this is how it's supposed to taste like. And I incorporate with this chocolate, it is great or it is not good. So at least I can say why. So that's why I think this is kind of a support for me to train my own palate and knowledge better when I judge and taste chocolate.
Do you see, from a timeline perspective, I remember seeing chocolate blow up and everywhere it was more fine chocolate, and then the coffee train came, and then now there's tea and coffee. Do you see the chocolate train coming back again, or is it going to be like a combination? How do you see the future of chocolate?
I think, very good question, because I have so many different mindset and for these questions. I think the commercial wise, it will always be there because chocolate, that's why I always love to talk about chocolates. Even you're 3 years old or you're 80 years old, if I give you a piece of chocolate, even you are a lady or just like very successful CEO, like I never smile. If I give you a piece of chocolate, your inner child just come out. Like you taste the chocolate, like you think about, you just like bring your natural happiness here. And most people like chocolate. Some people don't. I appreciate that. But most people do. Like a very serious CEO, they taste chocolate. That's good. Like it brings the joy, happiness. And think of any occasion you wouldn't involve chocolate. You can involve chocolate from birthday, celebrations, Christmas, Valentine's Day, weddings, or like when people get not well and then you send him a box of chocolates. It's like a little wishes. So commercial wise and also culture wise, as a gifting culture here, it will always be there. But people will look for better and better things, and people don't want to just buy a chocolate for the sake of giving you chocolate. I want to give you something I like, something great, because that's my value to you, it's my best wishes to you. So commercial world, it will always be there. And personally, I think more and more people will deep dive into craft chocolate. And now when you go to like a bit of upscale, upmarket supermarket, they have a huge wall of chocolate bars, right?
Yep.
Almost like more than noodles wall.
my favorite part of the supermarket.
Is it? Yeah. And then like you can just like look at the packaging, look at the details, look at the design, and look at the flavor, look at the label, look at the award-winning labels as well. And I think like if there's not such demand, supermarket wouldn't put such epic effort to have a whole chocolate rack and chocolate wall there, and which is good. And chocolate, yes, if I go to supermarket, maybe 20 Hong Kong dollar or even 5 Hong Kong dollar, you get a chocolate bar that I ate when I was 2 years old. And if you go to a luxury chocolate brand or a chocolate shop or supermarket, it might cost 80 Hong Kong dollars. But it's affordable luxury. And good chocolate, you wouldn't munch because one small cube of chocolate, as you said, like black coffee and chocolate, it stay on your palate for so long. The whole journey, the aftertaste, the changes of the flavor, and after 3 minutes, you're still enjoying that. And actually, you don't eat much, and it's more healthy and more enjoyable. And it's just also like a sensation and appreciation at that moment in time. So I think that there will still be there, and then more and more.
So there's the longevity, but we see that, do you think it's going to blow up again? Like, the trend, is there any sort of new trends right now in chocolate?
In London, there's a chocolate drinks shop purely for drinks. It's like, we always have like go to coffee shops every day, the chain store. But this is purely for chocolate drinks called Canoops. And they aim for having more than 100 chocolate drinks shop very soon. And they started in Rye, R-Y-E is a town in UK, and a very small shop for a few years. And then now they grow up to really everywhere, even Dubai. So I think it is so interesting. I was so worried for them. It's purely selling hot chocolate or iced chocolate, and that's all you sell. But there's more than that. Because the whole menu, they have more than 50 different types of chocolate drinks that you can choose from different cacao origin and different percentage. And each one you can bespoke. Like today, I want something umami and salty but chili, but I can add sea salt and chili. Tomorrow, I want something orangey, but also I want to add a little bit of mint, and then I can add on that flavor as well. So they grind it in front of you, pink peppercorn and everything, and then make it to your bespoke hot chocolate and iced chocolate. That is a beautiful trend, and really love it. And all the chocolate is great, ethically sourced, work with the bean to bar company brand. So they're bean to bar chocolate drinks. Just they didn't do the bean to bar part, but they use the bean to bar chocolate supplier.
Amazing. So apart from being a professional chocolate judge, an author, now you're a tea expert. You're also a PR and marketing professional, and your background is with a lot of luxury, luxury retail.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that journey, because I know you're still in the game.
Yeah, I am. So chocolate is my side job, which is I very proudly and happily involved in after my work time, evening time, and weekends. And my daytime job now, if I introduce myself, I have 3 hats. So I'm a senior manager of Fond Mason, which is like a luxury retail shop since 1707. With 1707 is way before the World War. So we've been here 318 years. So I take care of the corporate partnership, corporate marketing and business development. And my second hat is I work kind of like related to Hong Kong government. So I'm board member of Hong Kong UK Business Forum. It's under Hong Kong Federation of Business, which is supported by Hong Kong HKTDC, Hong Kong Trade Development Council. So me being as a Hong Kong girl, born and raised, and I moved to London, and having this privilege to facilitate the network and the business opportunities between UK and Hong Kong and crossover. So I just, as a board member, to drive all these opportunities for people need to have those connections. And my third hat is the chocolate world.
So what is a day like for you? Because you've got so many hats.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what you do in your roles.
I think like one question I always being asked, like, do you ever sleep? Like, how many hours you sleep every day? I think especially British culture is quite work-life balance. When I talk about work-life balance, is after 6 p.m. you're not expected to receive or answer any work message and everything. People still do, like if people would like to, but you're not expected to. And then, but I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. Like, I train to be like work driven, like solution driven, and really like whenever there's opportunity, I would love to be volunteer to help and then make things happen and achieve as well. So that is still inside me. So it's kind of like slight struggle with like people look at me, are you crazy? Do you sleep? But I do sleep. That's something I need to tell people. I do sleep 8 hours a day, and daytime job, like Monday to Friday, with my partner's work, which is also heavily involved with a lot of partnerships, so a lot of events in evening time, and it kind of like incorporate with Hong Kong and UK because we have a beautiful Hong Kong shop and a restaurant. So sometimes like Hong Kong government or like the business council related related activities between Hong Kong, China, and UK, I'll be involved. So that kind of like my mixed world with Fond and Mason and my governmental side of job. And then the chocolate world is normally when I have chance and weekend, and I'll just devote my time in that.
Yeah, excellent. So lastly, what's next for you? Are you going to be in UK or in Hong Kong? What's your next big thing?
Yeah, I think like predominantly yes in British in London, because I'm officially British now, but also Hong Kong. Hong Kong is always home for me. I come here 2 to 3 times a year for my family because my whole family is still in Hong Kong. But I am very happy that with my work actually, like, they have Hong Kong and UK presence, so I do a lot of projects for them, both of the region, and then the chocolate as well. Like we have so many happening in the Asian chocolate world that I can support as well. So, and with the Hong Kong government, I feel like my life with Hong Kong and UK is always tied for now.
No, it's great. No, I'm so happy to see you back because you've been gone for so long.
I know, but it's so good to see you. I remember we eat chocolate and having whiskey all the time back in the days, and we can still do that.
No, excellent. No, thank you, Cherrie, for joining the podcast today. And obviously, I'll see you around very often. So thank you.
Thank you. Come to London. I'll walk around you on the chocolates.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.